Jai Hind everyone, welcome again to the Patriotic IAS. Let's start our IAS PCSwala Daily Current Affairs. Today we have three topics that we will discuss one by one. There are more than three topics, but the three topics that is relevant for the UPSC where detailed analysis will be done. The first topic that is the percussion maestro Arvindakshar Madar that he is passage away. So this is a sad news, but this is important for the state PCS. Into the prelims, they can ask the recently passed percussion maestro. They can ask the name, so you should remember the name. So it will be for the prelims only. Then we will study the PM's speech fall foul of the model code of the conduct. So here we will know the basics about the model code of the conduct. This model code of the conduct is not part of the constitution. So you should be very clear. This is not act as well. This is not a statutory provision. This is just the direction guideline from the Election Commission of India. So there is the disciplinary action that can be taken. No cases can be filed on solely basis of the model code of the conduct. If the cases is to be filed, it should be the some other act. Maybe it could be the Representation of the People Act 1915, Representation of People Act 1951, but not on the basis of the model code of the conduct. It is just the disciplinary action where the action will be from the Election Commission of India. Besides that, we will see that what are the different constitutional provision that is basis for the manifesto of different political party, mainly basis on the two political party, BJP and the Congress. So we will see that what portion of the constitution, such as the DPSP, for example, the Nyaya Patra, the manifesto of the Congress that talks about the equity, equality, all this thing has its origin into the Article 38, 39, even 46, 38, 39 and 46. And BJP is talking about the Uniform Civil Code. It has its origin in the Article 44. So all that article we will study one by one. After that we will see that the Indian Defence University and need for the Indian Defence University, it will be under internal security, and it is mainly to strengthen our security. We need a Indian Defence University that has been into the establishment. We have ideas of this university already. There has been so many committee and the discussion has been taken place. It started after the India-China War 1962, and the first time in 1967 agreed upon to establishment of the defense university. Further it into the 80s to then in 19 after the Kargil War, and in 2010 we have decided that yes, Indian Defence University will be established into the Gurugram. So this is all about from this news, and let's start from the first page. The first page, the most important news that is talking about the campaigns end in 94 Lok Sabha constituencies for the third phase of the election that will be held on the 7th of the May, means tomorrow. So here you should know that the silence period means after that, in this period there will be the no campaigning. Silence is provided so that the people, the citizen can think about in a peaceful manner that which party on what ground we should vote. So it is 48 hours and it is from the end of the commencement of the election. Okay, so it is the 6 p.m. of the 7th. So that will be considered. The other important news that talk about the disabilities, people with the disabilities go to get quotas on all terrain irrespective of the concession. So here the railway had decided that they will provide the quota in the terrain irrespective of whether the concession has been provided or not in that particular coach. So here some special facilities such as that they will provide the seats that is reserved for the disabled person. For example, here it is given that the seat number 40 will be provided, and also there will be the seat number 50 will be provided for those who are traveling with the disability, and also their attendant will be provided some other arrangement. So this is all about from this news article. You can use this into the vulnerable section of the society and the policies made and the scheme made by the government for this section of the society. So this is all about from this news article. Here It is talking about the Mulla Periyar Dam. This is the tussle that is going on between the Kerala government and the Tamil Nadu government. It is into the Kerala, on the land of the Kerala, but it is controlled by the Tamil Nadu government. And Kerala government always accused the Tamil Nadu government for the lack of the maintenance and breaching the height and the level of the water. So this is going on for the last 125 years. So this issue is particularly because this was coming from the time when the Britishers were there, and after that it was the Travancore government and the British India, particularly the seat into the Madras. They signed after that. It was signed for the 999 years, and that's why it is into the custody of the Tamil Nadu. So this is all about from the this page. Next article that we are going to take is the percussion maestro Arvindakshar. Arvindakshar, please remember the name. This is a bit difficult. Arvindakshar. Madar passage away. So the percussion, this is mainly based on the characteristic of the sound, and yes, its property. So you should know that he belonged from the Kerala. Okay. So here it is given. This is useful for the state PCS. Next important news that is very shocking news. Supreme Court set aside the bail of the officer accused of the raping the minor. So here you will see that this is a criminal case, but you can use it as a case study or the example that there is the distrust between the state and the people. Generally, state is considered or the police is considered as the security provider, the safety provider of the common man, but mostly they are the main culprits into the exploitation of the common people. For example, there is a case that one of the girl, 13 years, the age of the girl she was gang raped. And after that, into the Lalitpur district of the Uttar Pradesh in 2022. After that, she approached to the police station nearby, and here the SHO, the station house officer, he also raped the girl. So this is the condition, and this is the reason that people do not try to go into the police station or the court, because they think that in states of getting justice they will get the more violence and exploitation, and that is the example of the where there is the distrust between the citizen and the people. So this is from the here. Next important news that we are going to cover is from the editorial, and this is talking about the PM's speech fall of the Model Code of Conduct. So mainly the discussion will revolve around the Model Code of the Conduct and the different provision of the Constitution. This is a bit political news, and there has been so many criticism of the government and the PM, but our focus should be on the concept of Model Code of Conduct, as well as the different provisions such as the Article 38, 39, Article 44, Article 46, Representation of People's Act. So all that has been mentioned, we will see these concepts instead of the writer what want to say. Here the name of the writer is the Dushyant Dave. He is a senior advocate and a former president of the Supreme Court Association. So here you should be careful about all whatever we are going to study. This is not my view, this is the view of this writer, and this writer has been the president of Supreme Court Bar Association and the senior advocate. So please be careful about this thing. Okay. So this article start with the first we will see that what is the Model Code of the Conduct. If the question comes that is it mentioned into the Constitution of India? Generally we think that yes, because we again and many times we hear such names. Whenever the election come, Model Code of the Conduct becomes so much prominent. So the reality is that this Model Code of the Conduct is not part of the Constitution of India. So please be very careful. Neither it is the act. This has not been passed by the Parliament or any of the state legislature. Even the state legislature doesn't have the power to pass Model Code of Conduct, and it is in the hand of the Parliament as the Election Commission of India that is governed by the Constitution and the laws of the Parliament. So Please remember, this is just a direction from the Election Commission of India. There is no direct court cases that can be filed when there is the violation of the Model Code of the Conduct. But Election Commission of India can take disciplinary action. And when it is start, the Model Code of the Conduct come into the force when the schedule for the election is announced and when until the declaration of the result. So this is the duration for the Model Code of the Conduct, and the disciplinary action can be taken by the Election Commission of India. It is not, you cannot go and file the court cases. Court cases can be filed with the different cases that the different provision that has been provided by the Representation of People Act. So please remember all this thing. So this analysis, this article start with the what is the condition of the different campaign species that is going on. For example, Prime Minister Modi has been mentioning this manifesto that has been provided by the Congress, and the name of the manifesto of the Congress is the Nyaya Patra. So for the state PCS, please remember Nyaya Patra, it is the manifesto of the Congress into the 18th Lok Sabha election, and for the BJP, it is the Sankalp Patra. Okay. So here there has been the distortion. The writer is of the view that manifesto has been distorted and the Prime Minister has been distorted many of the provision that has been mentioned into the manifesto of the Congress, that is the Nyaya Patra, and in the manifesto talk about the equity, minority, senior citizenship, citizens, disabilities, LGBTs, community, health, education, sport, women empowerment, farmers, workers, culture, economy, taxation, and defending the constitution. However, we have seen that the way it has been distorted, that yes, there will be the snatching of your Mangal Sutra or your jewelry and it will be distributed to the Muslim. That has not been the main aim of the manifesto. There is no such thing, but it has been the distorted form. Okay. So here you will see that instead of it's talking about the fairness and equal opportunity in economy, especially for the marginalized community. Okay. Congress plan to conduct the census under the socio-economic condition at the caste census. This is based on the providing the reservation on the basis of the population. So here you will see that the manifesto that provided under the Nyaya Patra, it is the reflection of the India's principle and the constitution, particularly like the preamble and also different provision of the DPSP. Here it has been mentioned that it reflects the preamble. The preamble talk about the sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Here, this is the nature of the state, and what the state will ensure? The state will ensure the justice. Justice in what area? Social, political, and economic. So here the justice, liberty, and equality of all citizens. Justice into the social, economic, and political area, liberty, and equality. So here it is the preamble of the India, you can see, and here it has very clearly mentioned that the nature of the state, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. I hope this is clear. And the main responsibility of the state is the justice. Justice on the ground of social, economic, and political. Liberty, equality, fraternity, all this has been talked into our preamble. So here it is, if you will go for the Article 39 of the Constitution, this is the DPSP. DPSP is the state responsibility to implement all these things. This talk about the state responsibility to ensure citizens have adequate livelihood, distribute resources for the common good, and prevent the wealth concentration. So here the Article 38 and 39, they have similarity. One's talk about the aim, the others talk about the what are the principles we will adopt to achieve it. For example, Article 38, it's talking about state to secure social order for the promotion of welfare of the people. Okay, so here Social order, the state will provide the social order, the social system, the society in such a manner that will promote the justice. Justice here, the justice will be social, economic and political as we saw it into the preamble as well. Okay. So this justice will be instituted in all the institutions of the nation life. Whatever the nation life institution, for example, the institution could be educational institution, the institution could be the investigative institution, all where there will be the justice, and justice will be reflected in the social, economic and political perspective. So here it is very important, social. Social means whenever into the society will go that you will listen that the people will say that I am higher caste, you are the lower caste. There is the no justice. People will do the atrocities against the weaker caste. So here the social justice you talk about, that there is no such thing. You and I are equal. There is no hierarchy of the lower caste, upper caste. You cannot exploit the weaker section or the lower caste. So here it is talking about the social justice. What is the economic justice? Means one person have the billions of the dollar. He go and marry his children with the crores of the rupees. For his dinner and the lunch breakfast, he spent 50 lakh of the rupees, going to the London, Paris, everywhere and enjoy the life. This is good, but there is the lot of the such inequality, and in the same country, in the same neighbors, a person living in the slum not able to eat 2 times, not able to have the meal for the 2 times of the day. So this is the economic inequality. One person who doesn't have money to cure his ailment and he dies, or he or she dies. But one person has a lot of money and he is enjoying, for example, he is gifting the golden idol or anything. So you can see that what is the difference is. One person doesn't have the money to cure. One person has a lot of money, he can spend lakh of rupees for his perfume. So this is the difference between the economic injustice. The person is dying due to the lack of the money. This is the economic injustice. Here you will talk about the justice in economic sense. What is the political justice? Political justice means the way I cannot contest into the election because of I don't have that much political weightage. There is the differences into the weightage and political weightage. Here it will be the political injustice. Politically, one person is very strong, can dominate into the area. So political injustice also should not be there. So the just system, it also talks about the states will minimize inequality into the income, endeavor to eliminate inequality into the status. Okay. The same thing here, Article 39 is also talk about the certain principle to be followed by the state, and this is again for the bringing the equality. Here it's talking about people should have the right to adequate means of the livelihood. I should have to do something to live. Livelihood means I can open a shop, I can sell a milk, I can do the animal husbandry, I can do the farming. All thing is the part of the livelihood. There is the difference between the livelihood and the working, the right to work. The right to work and the right to livelihood. Livelihood means I can involve in anything. Right to work means if I am going, I should have the sufficient opportunity for the job, and the job opportunity, equal opportunity for the job, and there should be sufficient job. Livelihood means you are doing your own business, something like that. So here the livelihood is much wider concept as compared to the work. Okay, so here you should be very careful. Ownership and control of the material resources of the community are so distributed best to subserve the common good. Okay, so all these points, if you will go one by one, equal pay for the equal work, means man and women should not be paid in the different manner for the same work, same amount of work done. For example, if I am a woman and there is a man as well, and if they are working as the construction worker, and they are shifting the bricks from the one place to the other place, in the end of the day, the women is paid 200 rupees and the man is paid 300 rupees. So this is not the equal pay for the equal work. So we need to pay 300 rupees to the women as well. That will be amount to equal pay for the equal work. For example, even at the higher level, for example, in the Hollywood or the particularly into the Bollywood. If you are here talking about India, we should talk about the Bollywood. In the Bollywood, you will find the male actor and the female actress. There is so much difference in their payment. Male are paid for the 10 crore rupees. In the same movies, the female actress will be paid 1 crore rupees. 10 time difference for the male and the female into the same movie. So such type of things should not be there. So all this is talking about the equality. Here, this article is also talking about the Article 46. Article 46 talk about the provision for the SCs and ST so that they can get the job equal opportunity, and that's why we have provided the reservation. For example, here it is talking about the promote special care for the education and economic interest of the weaker section, and here it is mentioned the particularly of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe. So the reservation policy into the job and education is to fulfill that. If the manifesto is talking about there will be the caste census, so caste census should comes from here. This is the justified from the this constitution itself. The constitution talk about the special provision for the SCs and STs because they have been exploited. They have been exploited for a very long time into the historical period, and the exploitation is still existing because if you will go into the jobs and if you will go into any of the past colony, here in the past colony you will not find those from the SC and ST. 90-95% into the past colonies, they will be from the upper caste. So there is the still differences that is existing, and that's why the government need to make its policy to reduce the inequality. And this has been discussed into the manifesto, that is as per this writer. The writer talking about even the BJP is talking about the uniform civil code that is on the part of the Article 44. So here Article 44 talks about the uniform civil code. It means that the state should endeavor, always try to provide within a period of 10 years. No. Here 44. The state shall endeavor to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code. Here the civil code is talking about the personal law such as the law for the marriage, law for the adoption, law for the transfer of the property from one generation to the other generation. So it's all talk about that there should be the civil code, uniform civil code. Now this all personal laws are governed by the religious law. So we want a common law, and BJP is talking about the same thing. So you cannot say that any other is talking about the other thing. So here this all article is very important because UPSC asks questions from this type of the concept. For example, in 2017, UPSC asked a question, which one of the following objective is not embodied into the preamble of the Constitution of India? Liberty of thought, economic liberty, liberty of expression, liberty of belief. So what will be the answer? Economic liberty. Here you will say that liberty of thought, expression and belief, this is mentioned into the preamble here. The liberty of thought, expression and belief. Here there is no mention of economic. It is into the justice that is talking about the social, economic and political. So please be very careful. The question is very simple, but if you do not have the clarity on the common, very basic thing, you will not able to solve the UPSC question. UPSC question are simple, but you need a clarity on the concept. So here it is talking about the liberty of thought, liberty of expression, liberty of belief. There is no economic liberty. Liberty is mainly, it is talking about the justice into the economic sense, justice into the social sense, justice into the political sense. Okay. So here, the name of the BJP manifesto is the Sankalpa. Please remember this for your state PCS. Then it is talking about the no law to govern the manifesto. The manifestos provided by these political parties, there is no proper law to govern. However, the Supreme Court has brought some of the guidelines and asked Election Commission of India to bring guidelines. For example, into the Subramaniam Balaji case of 2013, it asks the Election Commission of India to consult with the political parties and bring a guideline so that we can also try to regulate the manifesto as well. Here you will see that it restricts, for example, the Election Commission of India came up with the model code of conduct after the consultation, and recently we have seen that the recent guideline into the 2004, the Election Commission has restricted any of the parties to it has asked the political parties to please do criticism only on the policies and program. It is not, it should not go. Criticism should not go for the personal and private affair of the life. Whatever I do within my four wall of the house, this should not be part of the discussion into the public domain. This is my personal matter. Whether my what is going on with my maternal uncle or my brother-in-law or the sister-in-law, it shouldn't be the topic of the public discussion because everyone faces some of the private life issues. So there could be the tussle between the mother-in-laws and the daughter. There could be a lot of such personal issues. What you personally do, what you do into the breakfast, whether you eat mango or not, this should not be part of the discussion. The part of discussion should be whatever you do into the public life. If you are going to do the bribing, if you are promoting the corruption, that should be the part of discussion. If your policy is against a weaker section or some of the caste, that should be the point of the discussion. It shouldn't be the personal life. Whatever I do, take into my lunch, it is my personal thing. Whatever I do into the morning, whether I walk or don't walk, that doesn't matter. It is not the public topic to discussion. That is the main thing that has been mentioned and brought up by the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court has brought these issues, particularly guided the Election Commission of India into the Subramaniam Balaji case 2013. Please remember this. Then Supreme Court has also guided the political party do not bring the religion and the caste, all this thing for the mobilizing or the asking the voters to vote on this issue, because this is not, this will create the divide into the society. So you should remember the Dr. Ramesh Yaswant Prabhu case of the 1996, not, okay, and Abhiram Singh case 2017. This talk about the do not use religion, race, caste, all this thing for into the your electoral campaign. Okay, so here this is all about. So into the last, it has mentioned that the Election Commission of India, it is mandated to ensure free and fair election. However, there has been the such failure, there has been the such biasness. For example, many of, as per the writer, many of the speeches of the Prime Minister that do not fall under this MCC model code of conduct. However, the Election Commission of India didn't take that much strong action as it is taking against the opposition party leaders. So here this is all about, this is the view of the writer. So this is all about from this news analysis. This is very important because it has brought many of the important provision of the Constitution as well as different judicial verdict and the Representation of People Act. Next important news that we are going to cover again from the editorial, and it is time to operationalize the Indian Defence University. So it is mainly talking about the what is need for the now the war that is going on at the global level. There has been the change in the character. There has been the change into the character despite the nature has been remained the same. So here the writer, that is Admiral Karambir Singh, he is talking about the what the changes we need to make, and in that context it is talking about we need Indian Defence University, and already it has been into the conception but we have not established this. So we will study that why India has not done so and what could be the repercussions. So here we will start with the quotation from one of the Greek philosophers, Thucydides, and he's talk about that whenever there is the separation, whenever you separate the warrior and intellectuals, scholars, the country always face that those who are the coward, who are doing the thinking, and those who are fool, who is going to fight. So a country should not differentiate between the scholar and the warrior. And here it is into the context of this quotation has been given into the context of the in India, the lack of the defense university. So here you will see that the writer is talking about already the countries like the Pakistan and the China, they have dedicated defense universities, two defense university into the Pakistan and the three into the China. However, in India, we are continuously thinking to bring the defense university, but still we are not able to establish. The writer is talking about the nature of war that has remained the same. What it means by the nature of the war remain the same? Means the countries, they are fighting on the issues such as the border disputes, such as the resources, such as the dominance, fear factor, insecurity. All this thing has been remained the same. That has been into the past as well. But now the character of war has changed. Now the countries, they are using the different type of the tactics, different type of the technology. Now you will see that the physical war doesn't matter, the cyber crime. Besides that, we are witnessing the war at the in the space, anti-satellite missiles that is being developed. So the nature remain the same, but the character has been changed. So here we need to bring the professional military education in India. So for that, we started thinking for this into the from the 1967, just after the Chinese War, Indo-Sino War. After that, we started thinking about this Indian Defense University. Okay. Here the writer has brought the different report and act into the US that brought robustness into the US armed force. So US also has brought so many change because of there has been the strategic studies at the national defense universities, and that has brought so many change, so many input, and that's make the US military so powerful. Here you will see that we started in India also, we started thinking about that, but still we are thinking. The thing is that the chief of the staff committee that started thinking about a university, Indian Defense University, in 1967 when we faced the war with China in 1962. Again, after there was a tussle with the Pakistan, and we further started thinking 1971, the war and the emergency and so many things that was going on. So we started thinking to establish into the 1982, and after the Kargil war, when Dr. Subramaniam Swamy committee was instituted, it's examined the establishment of IDU, Indian Defense University, and in 2010, we finally achieved that, yes, we will establish this Indian Defense University into the Gurgaon. The thinking is going on. Look here, from the 1967, 1982, they agreed, yes, we will do. Again, after the Kargil war, the committee came up and it's finalized, yes, we will build into the Gurgaon. The thinking started into the 1967, but still into the 2024, we still are not able to develop this university. The first thing is that the fear factor, that we want civilian control on the army. There is chances, if the army is given more and more power, there is chances for the dictatorship or the military rule. The one thing is that in India we have always separated the army, and there is the political government that will be separated. We do not try to give the lot of power or anything that is the decision making that is going to the hand of the army. Always the defense minister that dominates all the decision making of the army. So maybe one region could be there, but however still we need to focus on the one of the university that promote the integrated professional military education. That is lacking because Indian armed force have the several world-class training and educational institutes, but we are lacking the integrated professional military education that is totally dedicated for the war management. These are the institute that work into the different areas, but they are not totally focusing on the war management. Okay, so that's why we need to bring the IDU that mainly address the shortcoming provided by the central institution and the higher military learning. Okay, and here it will be constituted by the those who are already into the military or the military academician, as well as the serving and retired officers. So we can use the retired officer, their skill, their experience, everything. Okay. This university curriculum that will include various subjects relevant to the national security, defense, integrating theory with the practice. So many times we confuse that Rashtriya Raksha University that can replace this. However, the reality is that this Rashtriya Raksha University, this is very different from the Indian Defense University, because the nature of this Rashtriya Raksha University into the Gujarat, that is not the same. It is not very much dedicated to the war management. Okay, so here you will see that this act, Rashtriya Raksha University Act, that doesn't very, this is not very specific to the education related to the defense in its objective, and its curriculum is not solely focused on the military requirement for the war management and execution of the plan. So here this IDU will be so much specific to the war management and the execution of the war plan. That's why we need this. So you can write any of the answers whenever the question is on the what are the issue India is facing in the case of the military management, or in the military to strengthen military, what the step we can take. The one or two further points you can bring here. You can suggest that Indian Defense University, that is very important, that is into the pending and the backlog for the from the since 1967 until now we are not able to come up with the our decision. So it is more than 50 years that this thing is, this process, this idea is into the thought process that has not been executed. Next news that we are going to take is again from the editorial. This is from the editorial column, and this is talking about the in the front line. Rahul Gandhi should have decided to contest from the Raebareli much earlier. So here, at the last moment, Rahul Gandhi decided to contest from the Raebareli. Raebareli is considered as a very stronghold for the Gandhi family. Already the grandfather, grandmother, mother all have represented the Raebareli, and last time Rahul Gandhi contested from the Wayanad where he won, but he was defeated into the Amethi, the adjacent district. Both constituencies represented by the Gandhi family. Here it is talking about that even the Priyanka Gandhi, she refused to contest, and her husband was not overlooked for the ticket. So here you will see that Rahul Gandhi had declared the mission to fight, resist the BJP Hindutva politics. However, the heartland for the BJP vote and seats are into the UP and Bihar. Here you will see that the BJP stronghold lies into this region. And here, if Rahul Gandhi is going to contest, there could be the change in the dynamics. It will strengthen its alliance with the Samajwadi Party SP. However, we will see that the Rahul Gandhi should have declared it very much before, so that the momentum, the mobilization could be much stronger. This is all from this news article. Next news article talking about the warning for the change on the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh region going to the polls. So here you will see that there has been mixed reaction. The turnout into the many of Jammu and Kashmir region and constituency is very low. For example, it is just 14% into the Srinagar. Anantnag, it was last time it was near about 9%. Into the Baramulla, it was around 34 to 35%. So this shows that this is the one of the lowest turnout. The turnout has been the normal as per the national turnout. It has been to the Udhampur and the Jammu area only. Otherwise, into the valley, such as the Srinagar, Baramulla and the Anantnag and other such district constituency, that has been the very less, and it must be, it is considered that it is due to the disillusionment among the people. And there has been the dissolution of the state, previous Jammu and Kashmir state, and the special status given to that all has resulted into the disillusionment. Okay, so polls here, the writer, the editor want to say that the polls that provide a very good ground for the people to represent their interest. They can come up and they can form a electorate that represent their interest, and that's why they should participate. Okay. Here the enduring distrust between the Kashmiri polity and the Delhi, and also explain why the traditional parties there has been in the recently we have seen that they oppose the postponement of the election. You will see that you should know that the People's Alliance for the Gupkar Declaration, this declaration was mainly to restoration of the previous special status of the Jammu and Kashmir under Article 370, as well as the restoration of the Article 35A that provide the special powers to the Jammu and Kashmir with respect to its residents. Okay. So here you will see that the BJP, despite it is talking that it has unified by the abrogation of the Article 370, but its own presence is limited to the few area into the Jammu and Kashmir, just into the Hindu majority Jammu and the Buddhist majority Ladakh. Even into the Buddhist majority Ladakh, the activist Sonam Wangchuk, there has been the protest, and that has weakened the BJP stand. Despite that, the opposition is not able to utilize or take the benefit of all this thing, because we have seen that the Congress and the National Conference, they have not agreed for the common candidate, and they have filled up the candidate into the Kargil area as well as the Ladakh area, and that's why there has been the chances that the fragmentation of the vote as well here. So this is all about from these two editorial news. So we have covered most of the relevant news from the today's news analysis. We will conclude our session here. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.